I am just beside myself. A lot of updates in this one video. Hello, my fam. It is Perez, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and your #1 source for everything It Ends With Us saga. We have to wait until March of 2026 for this trial to actually start, but before then, there's so much drama happening behind the scenes, outside of court. Just over the last 24 hours, both sides and his former publicist have been flooding the judge with letters that are very revealing and, I would say, some of them explosive. For example, we've got Taylor Swift to talk about. As I previously shared with you all, Blake Smollett's former dragon has been subpoenaed. But now we've learned she's not the only one. Team Baldoni have also subpoenaed Taylor Swift's law firm, Venable. Multiple people there. They want to see communications between Swift's lawyer and their attorneys. And it's a little bit of a big ask. In their subpoena, they are requesting discovery from January 2022 until May. This month. What? January 2022? Filming on It Ends With Us didn't begin until a year and a half later. If I remember correctly, Amber Lively wasn't attached to the movie in January of 2022, or February of 2022, or March. I don't like her, I don't support her, but also you have to call out things that are worthy of calling out, like this. I do believe that Taylor Swift is a relevant player in all of this, but... And Swifty's law firm agrees with me. They just filed a motion to quash the Wayfarer's subpoena, and they say that Team Baldoni's overreaching request is, quote, a classic fishing expedition that pursues material with little apparent or likely relevance to the subject matter. That letter to Judge Lyman was filed yesterday, and in a letter filed this morning, the shampoo company owner and her husband are also getting in on this. Wanting to protect her former dragon, the power couple have filed a motion to intervene and quash the subpoena issued to Taylor's law firm and employees there, including her attorney. And do you want to know one of the craziest, it's all so crazy, but this motion to intervene and quash that was just filed earlier today, this is 24 pages long. This probably took hours, if not days, for some junior level attorney at their law firm who costs less to draft up. This easily cost thousands of dollars, if not more than 10,000, just for this one motion. And there's so many motions on the docket. And the judge has not ruled on most of them yet. It should be noted that these two motions that I'm talking about are just in relation to her law firm. Taylor Swift has a separate subpoena served just against her. So far, nobody is contesting that one. Swifty's law firm also argues that in addition to this being a fishing expedition, it's not necessary. They say that all of the discovery can be obtained from the parties to the lawsuit. She's not a party in the lawsuit. And that seems reasonable to me. If their attorneys had any communications with Taylor Swift's, they should be able to get that from their attorneys, right? And in their motion today filed to intervene and quash, attorneys for the A-lister and his F-list wife argue, quote, The lively parties have substantial interest in the subject of this action, and the court's disposition of the action may impair or impede the lively parties' ability to protect their interests. The lively parties seek to intervene to challenge a subpoena that requests documents to the extent relevant at all that may contain the lively parties' confidential information and their counsel's work product. The court should quash the subpoena or otherwise enter a protective order. Also, do you remember a few days ago reading headlines like this one? Baldoni, others claim they lost $400 million in damages. Make them prove it. Blake Lively. Exclusive from TMZ. TMZ was reporting on Blake Lively's motion to compel. Unlike me, who is covering everything, TMZ, to my knowledge, is not consistently covering motions or letters to the judge. Translation, their exclusive was planted. Somebody wanted TMZ to write that. And in a separate letter to the judge filed yesterday, the Wayfarer parties responded to Lively's motion to compel. And they make the following accusation. Quote, in contradictory statements, Lively simultaneously acknowledges that the Wayfarer parties have confirmed that they will produce non-privileged documents concerning their damages and incorrectly argues that the Wayfarer parties have refused to produce specific financial records relevant to their damages. Given that there is no need for judicial intervention at this juncture, it appears that Lively's true purpose in filing the motion was not to compel discovery, but to fabricate a headline for the media, regardless of whether the motion wastes judicial resources or not. I love that other little bit there, meaning there are so many motions and they're clogging up the docket, and the judge must not be happy about all of this. Judge Lyman needs a vacation. And this is pretty savage. It is worth noting that Lively herself has not produced a single document or explained how she searched for and collected the documents that her counsel claims to have gathered from her, but not produced to us. At another point in their response, the Baldoni team once again mentions the number of dismissal motions and discovery motions already on the court's docket. Wasteful. They also reaffirm to the judge that they will be providing the information. They say, whenever Lively identifies the relevant information from the tax returns that she purportedly needs, we are confident that any such information will be readily available. The Baldoni team also questions the need for tax returns to quantify damages because what does net worth have to do with anything? How is it relevant in regards to damages? And finally, in a separate letter filed yesterday, his former publicist, Stephanie Jones, accuses the Wayfarer parties of litigation by ambush. They're arguing over the Van Zandt lawsuit and the infamous text messages and emails that were the basis of the New York Times article and a subpoena filed to a third party. And Stephanie Jones, through her lawyers, is asking for a protective order, and it's just never ending. And I love it. And I love you for watching. Thank you for your support, and especially if you watched until the end. Now, let's keep the fun going, and I will see you in the comments section. Thoughts? Let's discuss.